shit, I'm tired already. Something I fucking hate about autism, or having autism, I don't hate autism. Fuck you. Excluding when I'm around like alarms and shit. But anyway, that's a different subject. I hate whenever my autistic ass tries to talk to someone who is not autistic, and I try to communicate to the best of my abilities whatever I'm trying to portray, and they get offended off the bat, like as much as possible. I don't know what it is about people and being so naturally defensive, but I always just assume everyone asks questions with pure intent. Like, yeah, I assume that most people are just naive or trying to like understand things to the best of their potential. You know, you just react to most things people say, kind of like how you'd react to a kid asking you a homeless question. I remember exactly. I remember once in fucking middle school. Here's a great example. Middle school special ed class. This lady came to school, and she was just giving a talk about some sort of subject or whatever. But she was wrapping up, and then afterwards she was like, "All right, anything else we want to talk about, group? Anything at all?" And then of course I asked, just out of curiosity, because it's like, oh, here's someone new. I want to learn some information about this person. And of course, one would think in a room full of autistic kids she would know better. But I was like 12, and I was like, oh, excuse me? Can I ask how old you are? And then she goes, well, actually, that's very rude. So, and then literally all of us chime in at the exact same time. How is that rude? That's a completely normal question. I could ask, hey, Gabe, how old are you? 12. William, how old are you? 12. We all just basically just knew on the spot. That's the dumbest thing ever. Social standards are weird for that fucking reason, because it's like, since when in the hand, like, oh, okay, I thought that was one of those questions that it's like polite to ask somebody. This is why I don't understand status quo and social rules and shit, because they always change for the dumbest fucking reasons, just because a person, sorry, that was my laptop, just because a person fucking chooses to. So it's like, oh, okay, I thought it was very nice to be like, hi, what's your name? How old are you? Oh, that's cool to know. But instead, it's like, oh, okay, I guess getting to know basic information about people is fucking rude now. What's next? We can't ask people fucking what their name is? That is why I enjoy having autistic friends, because we help each other out whenever it's like, hey, were we being rude here? And then usually, like, it depends on what levels of autism we all collectively have, or it's a I say that as a joke, by the way. But some of us like have better, I guess, like social visibility bullshit than others, or read the fucking social hierarchy and rule book and like had that on hand. So whenever some of my friends are like, "Hey, Tamia, can I tell you about a situation? Can I ask if I'm in the wrong?" They'll tell me the whole situation. I'll be like, "No, you were entirely in the fucking right. That bitch had an attitude for no reason." Like this one incident, I was at Lowe's. Fuck Lowe's. I'm not gonna say what I did, but I will say my friend who is also artistic, they're lovely. They were like, "Oh, hey, if you go up to the gardening center and you just ask them if it's possible to get a discount on whatever plants you want, they'll just give it to you because they don't care." And I was like, "Are you sure? I'm not sure. Like, are you sure that wasn't just your location? That sounds like, I don't know how that well that's gonna go." And then they were like, "Yeah, yeah, it should be fine, should be fine." And so I, of course, with the purest intentions at heart, fully prepared to be rejected, I went to the fucking Lowe's in San Francisco, and I was like, "Oh, hey, a quick question about the gardening center. So I heard from a friend of mine who works at Lowe's. I don't know if this is still a rule here, but I heard that if I asked, like, I could get a discount on like succulents. Is that true? If not, then I totally understand. All you gotta do is say no, and I understand. It sounds ridiculous, I know, but I just want to make sure." And this bitch looked at me like I grew like a second head. She looked at me like I pissed on the floor, the bitch fucking lady at Lowe's. And she was like, "Who told you that?" And I said, "Oh, just my other friend. They've worked at Lowe's in the past." So, like, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I was just trying my luck to ask, but it's okay. And I was giving the social cue of, okay, I get the gist is no. But this lady kept trying to, like, vote me back into conversation just to be like, "I don't know who told you that. Like, who really told you that? Because we don't do that here. Yeah, yeah. Like, we've never done that. Who told you that? Because that's just, yeah, I don't know who told you that." And looking at me like I'm a fucking idiot. And it's like, bitch, I've heard you the first 60 million times. How about you just let me leave? Because I'm giving the vibe of, I get it. That would, like, if I say all I need is a no, all you need to say is, oh, yes, no. I mean, sorry, just a no. And then I'll be like, okay, cool. I get the gist. But anyway, because of her attitude, I won't say what I did. Let's just say I have, let's count the plants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like like 10 plants. Don't ask me for a receipt on them. Or when I do try to communicate to people who don't have autism, it's always a pain in the ass. Like, I remember, I don't care. I'm going to talk about my ex's family because fuck that. I mean, fuck all of them. I only like my ex. My ex is a lovely, lovely beacon of bliss, and everyone else I tried so hard to be nice to or positive with, and no matter what, they acted like I was being the fucking bitch. And it's funny because it's like, no, I was waving to you, giving social cues of, hi, nice to meet you, or hey, nice seeing you. And then they literally stare at me and then just walk off without a word or glare at me or like snarl at me. And then they have the nerve to pretend that I've been a bitch the whole time. Like, no, I printed out photos of the family member who was recently deceased in your family and gave you all copies, as well as like photos of all of you together, which rarely happens. I baked for y'all because I wanted y'all to know that I was affectionate towards you no matter what. I tried my best. I was always the one to suggest game nights or things we could do as a group. But no, okay, I'm just a bitch. Regardless of that effort, that's so fucking nice, she said sarcastically. But I remember one of the last few incidents with, like, his cunt ass older brother. Ugly motherfucker can't wash his fucking ass. Sorry. I'm getting things off my chest. I apologize. I remember I had talked to him and I, like, we were having a pretty good conversation. It's one of those things where when people who are kind of naturally volatile or like kind of shitty are the types of people who like project their emotions onto other people or can go from like smiling to like super depressed, like at the drop of a pin, completely out of the blue. I don't like talking to those types of people because they're never mature in any other facets of their life. But it's also because it's like, okay, how good is this good mood going to last? Because if it's only going to last 3 minutes, then let me know so that I can start prepping my exit plan by 2 minutes and 30 seconds in. If it's gonna be several hours, just I don't know. I need signals to know when the conversation is ending so that I don't get embarrassed when someone who seemingly is interested in a conversation with me like all of a sudden goes cold. It's like I do need a cue to be told either I do not like what you said, or I'm not interested in this topic, or I think I'm tired of conversation now. But anyway, me and his brother were talking for like hours that day, like plenty of time. We had a very nice, pleasant, long conversation where they info dumped to me about slavery, which was funny because it's like they seem to do that only with me. It's like I can't, like, I ain't gonna say they're racist, but it is funny that it's like, oh, look, my brother's black girlfriend is over. Time to teach her all the shit about the Confederacy and how they got their asses handed to them and all the, like, terrors of the war. And it's like, oh, interesting. Interesting choice of topic. It's never, how was your day to me? But I still enjoyed the conversations. Like, they told me about Chiquita Banana and communism and a bunch of interesting things, which I really appreciated. And I got to tell them about, like, I don't know, Marilyn Manson and whatnot. I don't know. But at some point, like, they were doing that thing that always, like, has historically pissed me off with anybody, not just them. Or at least on the inside. I try not to express my anger externally with people. I save that for behind closed doors. But in a nutshell, they did that thing where all of a sudden 1 second they're smiling and chatting, the next second they're like, yeah, 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 yeah. Just kind of whatever, just like in the whole glaring, like silent, like I say something, they have like zero response to it several times thing. And eventually I thought, okay, it's been like almost a year now of me dating Liam. I could just straight up say that, like, it never hurts. I could extend an olive branch by now and like try to just explain that I need something communicated with me, or else I will get the mistake that they hate me, or that I did something wrong conversationally, or that like I got the wrong idea that this was a positive conversation. And so here I was thinking I was trying to be, polite and friendly and social by being like, oh, by the way, if you ever do want to leave a conversation like in the future, you could just let me know. It never hurts to just say, oh, I think I'm tired conversationally now, or my social batteries ran out. But, instead they just did the same thing. They glared at me and then went back to staring at the TV. And then I tried to say, but, I don't mean to sound like mean over it. I'm just saying it as a fact. But I guess they took it as condescending or whatever. I don't know how the fuck they took it. But they just went, it's fine, whatever. And it's like, that's such a weird response if I'm trying to say, hey, I get confused easily. But, it's always okay to have a positive cop out using these statements to prevent any future friction, and then you turn it into a moment of friction. That really pisses me off. Because here I was, thinking I was doing so well, and it's like, yep, there we go. 3 steps forward, 5 steps back. That felt fucking nice. But, his brothers are degenerates. I don't need to say anything else. And also, I don't know, I think that's why I really vibe with people who are very good communicators or just understand that, not everything, like, sometimes people say, like, I at least need people who try. I've made friends with some people who communicate in very interesting ways. Like this one girl, sadly me and her aren't in contact, but I might message her later just to check in. But it was at art school when I was 16. I went to Academy of the Arts for a summer semester. And then this one girl, she seemed to be glaring at me. Like 1 second she would be on her phone, the next second she'd be glaring at me. The next second she was on her phone, next second she's glaring at me. And this was like all the way from across the room. And so I was sweating hella hard, panicking like, oh shit, am I tapping on my fucking keyboard too loud? Is my hair fucked up? Am I smiling weird? Am I accidentally making an emotion on my face that's making her look at me so strangely? Am I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm just typing on a laptop. Why is she being fucking weird? But later on, she did move closer and closer, and then eventually, I think we had a group hangout because this one cool guy in the group was like, "Hey, everybody, let's go to Union Square together." And she just so happened to eventually get near me. And it turns out her natural like state of being, I guess, maybe when she's like nervous or angry. I mean, well, obviously nervous, angry, flustered, or just like interested in someone, is that she naturally looks angry. So she's kind of like an anime sundeer, where she's just like, "Oh my god, how dare that bitch be so attractive? Fuck me, how do I act?" So that was going on in her head, and I didn't know that. But then it got clear in her words because eventually she would be like flustered and she'd be like, "We should hang out sometime." And I was like, "Huh?" And she said, "I said we should hang out sometime." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure." And it's like, okay, that's just her way of speaking. She's just angry when she's nervous. She's not a bad person. And then that made any interaction so much easier because it's like, okay, so you're not mad at me. You just seem mad whenever you're nervous or have a crush on somebody. And she later told me that she just thought I was very pretty and was just nervous over how to talk to me, which was very sweet. Yeah, I've had that mistake too. I accidentally once called someone fucking weird in Berkeley, and I'm really sorry about that to whoever that was in Berkeley. She kept doing the same shit years later. And as I left, I said, "You're fucking weird," at the exact time she said, "You're very pretty." And it's like, oh shit. I said, "Sorry, thank you, bye." And then I ran off. I feel super bad about that every once in a while, but that lady was sweet. I hope she's doing well. So I guess that's why I really prioritize people who can communicate without being cunts about it. Because, like, it just makes the world a better place. It just makes the world a better place. Then I don't like if it was just like, oh, hey, this dude just had, like, if he did just have resting bitch face and just, like, accidentally shot me glares when he didn't mean to, or had his own depression that sometimes made him, like, non-verbal or, like, anxious, I mean, avoidant attachment or whatever. That makes fucking sense to me. I would have respected that. That's why, so I just hate whenever I've tried to communicate with people things and they just don't get it. But, sometimes that does, like, I don't know. Some people also just are fucking stupid. But in a semi-related topic, like, several fuck buddies I've had who I would communicate directly how to communicate with me, I'd be like, "Hey, buddy, you don't have to lie and say that you want to have, like, a friend hangout and hype up a bunch of plans just to either flake last minute or try to trick me into, like, your bedroom so that we could have sex, then you kick me out immediately after. You don't have to do that at all. All you have to do is just say, 'Hey, Tamia, do you want to have sex?' And I will either say yes or I can't right now. And or no. And if I say no, just sweeten the deal. Like, just offer something cool. Like, oh, how about we see a movie first? Or how about food? And then I will most likely say yes. And I told this to my ex-friend Marco. And his dumbass kept going, "No, no, I truly see you as a friend. Truly, truly. Guess what? You should come over. Here, I'll make it up to you. You should come over to my house this fucking weekend. We can play some Mario Party and get some burritos and then head over to, like, Golden Gate Square and get some clam chowder." And he hyped up hella plans. I came over. Same shit happened. And eventually eventually he was like, "Why does Tamia keep cursing me out? And, like, calling me a piece of shit?" And, and it's like, no shit. There's a connection here. The connection is I said what I wanted. You, for no fucking reason, did what I didn't want. and then you just made me hate you. Congratulations. And it took him how many years? Like it took like another year. So in the 2 years I had known him, it took him another year to finally get that into his fucking skull. And he was like, oh shit, it's been that easy this whole time. And I said, yes, nigga, I don't lie to people. Not like I really just don't. I have no reason to fucking lie to you. Why would I lie over some shit like that? Why would you hear me clearly say what I want and just assume, oh, she doesn't fucking mean that? Let me just go ahead and keep trying to manipulate her and hurt her for no fucking reason. Dumbest piece of shit I've ever had the displeasure of meeting. Aside from that, I also just get annoyed whenever I meet people who aren't exactly neurotypical, but just like, I guess I used to hate the phrase autistic. Ironically, it's yet another story of someone who just decided to be a cunt to me instead of communicating like a person. Actually, fuck it, I'll tell you that story real quick. I was at a party, and then this one bitch, like, was already being kind of snarky. And it was like I was talking to someone, she kind of interjected. Oh, and then she mentioned something called being autistic. And I said, oh, sorry, if you don't mind me asking, what's autistic mean? I've heard about it, but I just don't know what it is. And she just was like, it means someone without autism. And I said, oh, okay. And I just said, oh, okay, that makes sense. Sorry if I don't, didn't know that off the bat already. I apologize and I explained that I apologize if I seem naive. I guess the only word that I've heard of before was neurotypical. And, like, I guess she took that the wrong way. I don't get what she thought I was trying to say. I don't know if she thought I was trying to shade her or whatever the fuck. But she just instantly kept trying to be fucking snarky the whole night, like following me around wherever I was talking to somebody, just to interject or try to have a moment where she could like try to make other people gang up on me. It was the weirdest shit ever. Very strange party. I still had like fun for the most part, but it was like, who invited this bitch? Because it's like now she's being weird, and it's like, bitch, you could have just, I don't know. So now whenever someone says the word autistic, I'm like, oh, that's fucking. But I'm finding more reasons for the word autistic. I didn't know why it existed at first, but if it does just mean like people who aren't like neurotypical, but like don't have autism, that makes sense. I understand that. I'm getting it more and more. I'm learning every day. People just need to understand that some people just don't know shit and ask questions to improve. But yeah, my homie Morgan, who currently is getting help, I hope he gets the help he needs. We are back in positive contact. Basically, with him, he is kind of similar in the sense of he keeps thinking that I hate him. But if he ever did, like, and I've told him before, like, Morgan, I've already told you the whole degradation thing against you is mainly just like a kink. And I told you it was so that we could have very rough sex more passionately. But if you ever want to stop, just tell me to stop. And I will even tell you, like, compliments because I do mean it and I don't want you hurt. And he'll be like, no, no, it's fine with his fucking ego. And then, oh, look, almost a year later. And now he thinks that I hate him and thinks that he's unattractive and thinks that he's ugly. And now it's like, ah, shit. He should have listened to me before. I would have just told him off the bat, like, dude, you are relatively attractive. You could get any bitch you want. You're a nice fella. Chill the fuck out. But no. No, he doesn't. Anyway. But yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, just the last time we met a few days ago, he's the type of guy where I could literally sit in bed telling him, oh, hey, I think you're quite attractive looking. I think you literally just get any girl you want if you actually tried, like, going to a bar or putting yourself out more, because you do have an attractive face and body. Also, like, you're relatively nice. You're a polite guy, very sweet. And I could tell him all sorts of nice things about himself, calling him attractive. Saying, like, I even straight up told him about more in depth about the weird, like, hey, I've pictured, like, what it would be like to have kids that look like you. Bullshit. Like, clear, obvious signs that he is considered sexually attractive and also, to an extent, emotionally adored. But still did not stop him from maybe like 10 minutes later accusing me of hating him. And I made a playful joke saying, oh, yes, sure, I hate you. But I guess he took that as like actual, like, fuck him instead of like sarcasm. Anyway, we talked. I multiple times reaffirmed that I care about him. He has self-hatred issues that he's getting worked out, and I hope that the therapy actually works this time for him. Usually when he doesn't see me, I think that's when the therapy's working. But yeah, moral of the story. I wish people fucking didn't believe me off the bat when I said things. But at the same time, for certain things that sound a little bit too mean, I wish they'd either check me on it or just like ask for elaboration so that they could get my point of view. Because usually I'm not just like out here insulting people to their face. Like 9 times out of 10, I'm not. And if I were, it's usually just some shit like you're a fucking cunt or you're an idiot. Nothing too deep. Nothing too deep at all. Like, come on now. I think if you're above the age of like 19 and you're still being that way, then I think you have tons of issues to work on. Because snark versus actual communication is always going to be pathetic. Also, I guess just on a positive note to end, like in this conversation, me and my homie Max. Max is someone I talk to at my job sometimes. They're pretty fucking chill. Me and them were talking. But then I guess a problem came up where they kind of sounded like a hypocrite over like just something surrounding my ex, the reasons we broke up. And I have just from my perspective, I was like, hey, just letting you know, I did find it a bit hypocritical about my ex, like how you kind of shunned them for the same thing that you thought before you had changed your mind as well. I thought that was a little odd, but I have no intent against. But I don't like hate you or anything. And I said this over text, so I understand why he didn't hear the tone and probably thought I was like pissed off at him. But eventually I just said, but we can talk about this in person to make sure there's no miscommunication. But him, thinking that I was enraged, he thought, oh shit, I should talk to her about it now because clearly she's enraged at me. No, nigga! I said let's talk about it in person. But okay. And then eventually he just kept, not only did he, one, misunderstand my feelings, two, he misunderstood the topic and the intent of the conversation. And then it's like, so basically it's kind of like if I say something like, hey, I think your reading comprehension skills are piss poor, and then you say, how dare we piss on the poor? I mean, how dare you say we piss on the poor? So that's how that conversation was going. He wasn't understanding shit I was saying intent wise, or yeah, just he wasn't comprehending shit. So then I just told him, hey, listen, this is kind of a heavy or intense topic, and I don't want it to be any more confusing. We can just talk about this next time we see each other. But then, he didn't come to see me at work that weekend, and I thought, it's okay, that's my buddy Max. He's probably just busy. And if he is, like, upset at me, it's okay. Maybe he just needs time to cool off. And then almost, like, another week went by, so then, like, at the 2-week mark, he finally, like, showed up to where I was at work. And I was like, hey, Max, how you doing? And then he was like, look, we need to talk. And then he was, like, all stern and stuff. But then once we actually did get to talking, he was like, oh, that's what you meant? And I was like, mm-hmm, yeah. And then, sorry, speaker. I told him, yeah, and also when I blocked you, it wasn't me trying to block you after I said let's talk that weekend because I hated you. I just blocked you simply because I could tell that over text we were going to keep having miscommunications over what I was trying to say I meant. And so I just wanted to make sure we were on a positive note. And then he was like, really? So you didn't hate me? You didn't do that out of spite or anger? I said, no, I did that solely because it was just, to prevent the conversation from escalating further into nothingness, I should pause it and then just force him to have no other option than to just talk to me in person. And then he went, oh, I never thought of it that way. I totally misunderstood everything about that. And I said, yep, that's exactly what I said. And then he was like, oh, we cool now? And I said, yeah, we're cool now. I haven't unblocked him yet just because I forgot, but we're still on fucking good terms. And I wish more conversations were like that, where it's like simple things could happen and it doesn't have to be a big fucking pomp and perk, like pop and perks. I mean, pomp and perk. What's the word? Pomp and circumstance? I don't even think that's the right word. I forgot what that even means. It doesn't have to be a big fucking show and tell is what I mean. That's the fucking word I was going for. I mixed those two up. Anyway, pop and perks. Anyway, yeah. Plus, when I was growing up, my mom was that fucking way where she could just take. Oh, fuck it. I'll say another one. I don't even think anyone's gonna watch a 30-minute long video, so I'll just keep saying shit. Another example is with my ex-boyfriend. Ironically, because I had a moment exactly like that with my fucking mother when I was a kid, I knew exactly how to handle that. So when I was a kid, I remember my mom asked me if I really enjoyed our summer, and I said the words, oh yeah, I really liked it. I had a lot of fun. It was so nice. I mean, I feel like I could have done more, but I really enjoyed my time. And as we were talking, I could see her smile go from this to this, and I didn't know why. And I was like, is something wrong? And then she basically got mad at me because she assumed I meant, oh, summer was okay, but I didn't do shit. In the sense of like, fuck everything that we did as a family together. And so she went on this rant like, we went to Great America, we went to Six Flags, that was expensive. You know what? Go to your room. No more watching TV. And she went on this like huge angry rant when my intention was to say, I had a good summer, as in I clearly enjoyed the summer, but I could have done more myself. As in, like, I feel like, yeah, we went to Great America like once and stuff, but otherwise it was like, I had like goals that I felt like I could have achieved. Like, oh, I should have read more books. Maybe I should have went outside a little bit more often. Like, and that's like kind of the extent of it. It's like, I went to Great America, then watched a fuck ton of TV. I probably should have watched less TV and like did more projects. But she had the like worst perceived like projection over what my intentions were, and then all it did was strain our relationship, which was not good. So, but anyway, fast forward to when I was dating my ex boyfriend in 2022. I remember at some point I woke up in the morning and I noticed that it was hella late and stuff. It was like 4 p.m. and I said, oof, we need to be doing some more. We need to be doing more. And I said it jokingly. And then he went, Tamia. And I said, what? And he said, come on now. And he got an attitude and started talking about how he's been doing like a lot for me, like taking me on all these dates and paying for my shit and stuff. And it's like, okay, that's what pissed me off. Is like, eventually I told him, like, after a moment of like silence for like 10 minutes after he got pissed at me, he heard me crying. And then he was like, baby, what's wrong? And I said, that's not, and I just cried and explained that's not what I fucking meant at all. And I explained that what I actually meant was, hey, we gotta do more than just like sleep in like way, way late into the day. Like, if normal people get up at like 6 a.m., 8 a.m., even like 12 p.m. or 2 p.m. if they really late, and we're waking up at 4 p.m., it's just me making a joke over, wow, we are late sleepers. We gotta be doing more than just sleeping, because, like, yeah, it was just a passive joke that didn't hit. And instead, he took that as, oh, me and Liam do not do fucking shit whatsoever. He does not do anything for me. Fuck you, Liam. And that's a huge fucking hop, skip, and jump from what my intention was, but okay. And it really pissed me off. But once he understood, he was like, oh, that's what you meant. You just meant to reference how we sleep a bunch. You weren't shitting on me and saying I don't take you on enough dates. It's like, no, you take me on more than enough dates. I love them. I was just saying that we sleep in a bunch and trying to be playful in the morning, but it just didn't go well and I kept crying. But he comforted me and we moved on past it. But yeah, that was awkward. And I guess another moment from my childhood when I was like 12 or something, I remember a joke that didn't hit and then everyone like assumed I was being a cunt off of it. So my sister was doing my hair. That fucking ugly bitch. Sorry, she was. She was doing my hair. And, it was like fresh after a conditioner. She was trying to blow dry my hair. And, I had the towel that I used on my hair and was used to wipe my face. And, they kept like wiping their combs on it and stuff whenever it got a little too wet. Which I guess I thought in my head, oh, I should make like a quirky. Oh, yeah. What happened is. Sorry, pause. Then my mother walked in. She was trying to see how my hair was doing. And she did the same thing. Like, she walks in, does something to my hair, wipes her hand on my towel, wipes her comb on my towel, blah, 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 And I think, ooh, I should make a quirky little joke. Like, ooh, this is my towel. Everyone's using my towel, like, on their body parts when it's mine. This will be, like, a clearly, like, not serious, like, passive joke that I could make. And I just say, oh, why is everyone using my towel? And what I really thought I really nailed the tone of voice and execution to make it obvious that it's like I really don't give a shit about the tarot and I was just making a playful joke. I don't know. But anyway, what happened is a lot of fingers and nails wagged into my face, a lot of yelling and spiteful behaviors and being called ungrateful. And yeah, that didn't go too well, and it just strained and worsened my relationship and bond with my family. Yay. It's so funny because my family would be the type to say, to me, it doesn't do jokes. To me, it can't take jokes. And then their jokes would be, oh, yes, I love beating my child. Remember that time I beat the shit out of Tamia for 12 hours straight and made her sleep on the bathroom floor? That was funny. And then I wouldn't laugh and they'll be like, oh, to me, it can't take a joke. Yeah, because there's no punchline. It's just punches. Like, that's it. And then otherwise, I try to make a joke, and then it could just be like, okay, like a flavorless joke. And then they'll be like, oh, see, this is why you're a fucking ungrateful bitch to me. And then they go on a rant like that. And so it's like, yeah, you can clearly see why I don't like making jokes with them. Because even when I try to make even harmless jokes, harmless jokes, then, like, that's what happens. Anyway, that's why I don't like people too much. I'm still mad about that Morgan thing, just because it's like, I really. How many messages have I sent that nigga historically? To even when he has really dogged me out, to be like, I care about you. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're taking care of yourself. And it just kind of pisses me off that at the end of the day he still went, yeah, Tamia fucking hates me. Tamia wants me dead. And it's like, come on, like, ugh. So it kind of sucks that my sarcastic joke of like, I guess some context just to provide it. He made a joke. Oh, I guess it wasn't even a joke, kind of. It's hard to tell what that was. He was very, let's just say he was very not in a great mental space when he was talking to me, but he was hiding it with a smile, so it was very hard for me to tell, and still is, what vibe he was giving. But I remember he talked to me about cheating roleplay during sex, and I mentioned that I could be open to it now since I started like liking him more and trusting him a little better for it, and trusting that our bond would work for it. And then he said, "But you hate cheating," and I said, "Yeah, true." And then he said, "Oh, I'm a cheater," and I said, "Yeah, Morgan, you've told me. Yeah, I'm already aware of that." And then he said, "That's probably why you hate me." And I said, "No, there's tons of other reasons to hate you." And I said it like I thought I nailed it with like making it sound playful. Obviously with the like a smile and the loving look in my eyes that it's like, nah, like yeah, and the fact that I had freshly sucked his dick and almost fucked him raw like 20 minutes before, it's like, yeah, it would have been obvious that it's like, no, I do not hate you. But I guess he actually took it a lot more personal than I thought. So he's getting space and he's getting therapy. Let's just say a lot of bad things happened after that, out of my view. And yeah, I have to be very careful with him because, even though he has historically been a piece of shit to me, he's also, when he's not a piece of shit, he's been very nice. So, I want to bring out and encourage the nice side of him sometimes, I guess. I don't know. It's weird. Whenever I'm mean to him is when he's nice to me. Whenever I'm nice to him is when he starts being a jackass to me. That's something else I really do not like about with dealing with like cis men. Like that shit pisses me off. It disgusts me even. Anyway, we have a complicated bond, but I hope he's doing well and I hope therapy works. Peace out.